Cowbird by Jae Ess. Chapter 7. The Truth. The rain begins just as we arrive back on Porter Estate. Sam drives me up to the front door and is quick to come around to my door with an umbrella. I step out beneath it, feeling troubled, uncertain. "I'm just not sure, Sam," I confide in front of the house. "Is it normal to suspect my own family members of murder?" "I don't know that anything about this particular situation is normal, Miss Porter. But if it will give you peace of mind to look into them." "Yes," I murmur. "Yes, I suppose I must. Though I wonder if I can really pull it off." "I'm sure you can pull off anything you put your mind to, Miss Porter," he answers, and I find myself glancing over at him. His eyes are gray like the storm, but not cloudy. They are clear, and so direct they make me blush. "I think I could be brave enough to try, Sam, so long as I knew you had my back." "That you can rely on." In contrast to the gloom outside, inside the house is brightly lit with dozens of gas lamps in every room. The marble floor of the main hall sparkles with a fresh coat of wax. Even the leaves of the houseplants gleam with a fresh shine. But for all its sparkle and polish, the air in the Porter mansion is fouled by the noise of an argument just behind the drawing-room door. "How many times do I have to say it before you'll believe me?" Father's voice. "I tell you there's never been anything between me and that woman. Or any woman." "You expect me to buy that even now? What kind of fool do you take me for?" "Mother. An overthinking one," Father snaps. "This is nothing but a melodrama you've created in your own mind. Perhaps if you were sober twice a year, you'd realize that." "I'll kill her, Dwayne! Don't think I won't!" "Will you stop your hysterics, woman? I have enough on my plate without all your damned emotionalism." He burst suddenly from the room, slamming the door together with the sound of shattering glass as Mother hurls her drink after him. He winces at the sound, swears, but ultimately, he's numb to it. We all are. "Francis." I jump a little at the sound of my name and look to Father. "I must speak with you. Come with me." I go along mutely, with Mother's muffled sobs following us both down the hall. Inside Father's office is an unusual mess of papers. I know he's been working more than usual lately, and I guess it shows. "Please sit." He gestures to the seat opposite his desk, and I am immediately guarded around his pleasant tone, though I do as I'm bidden. He sits behind his desk and thrusts a few papers to the side, folding his hands atop it. His posture strikes me as sympathetic, inviting, but his blue eyes are ice-cold as he smiles at me. "After we parted last night, I gave the events of yesterday afternoon considerable thought, and I think I owe you an apology." My eyes widen at his words, but I say nothing. "You were right, of course, though admittedly you've always been a little different. I can't say I have ever known you to be a liar." "Then you believe me? About finding Harrison's body?" He hesitates. "I believe you saw something, and that there was no malicious intent behind your claims yesterday." "So you think I'm crazy?" No, of course not. But you just said, listen, I believe," he lowers his voice, "I believe there was a body. I'm not claiming it was Harrison Squire's or anyone else's. But whoever killed the man also did us the favor of getting rid of him, cleaning up after themselves quite nicely. So let's leave it at that, Neither Mr. St. James nor I want to see our names in the front page of the Solaria Times beside a tagline as sordid as murder." "But aren't you in the least bit concerned that there's a killer running around out there?" "No, I am not," he says firmly. "And I'm sure this is the last we'll hear of it, so let's forget the incident. I've already spoken with Louise and asked her to be understanding about the way the party broke up yesterday. I trust she won't make any more trouble for you." "Ha! I should be so lucky." "In the meantime, I don't want you running off, chasing down murderers, conducting your own private interviews and stirring up suspicion amongst yesterday's guests. This is an order, he says when I start to protest. I bite my tongue, frustrated but not dissuaded. All right, Father, I say. I promise I won't investigate any of Louise's guests. There's a good girl, he says, leaning back in his chair with a faint smile. But I will be investigating you, I add mentally, and everyone else in this house I find suspicious, just until I'm satisfied I'm not sharing a roof with a murderer. Was there anything else you needed me for, Father? No, that will be all. Yesterday at the bank, I think you mentioned something about my savings, I remind him. Oh, yes, well, that discussion can wait another day or two, I think, he says, smiling again. For now, just enjoy your evening. Dinner should be ready soon. I asked Mrs. Agate to prepare chicken curry. I love Mrs. Agate's curry. Yes, and Waldorf pudding for dessert. Your favorite. I don't like it, I think as I leave his office. Father's being too nice to me, treating me like one of his investors, trying to sweeten me up. For what? Is this just his way of apologizing for yesterday? Or is it about my savings he suddenly seems so interested in? Or is he, perhaps, hiding something more sinister? I'd like to avoid dinner, eating with the others, especially after yesterday. Honestly, I'd like nothing more than to have it sent up to my room and eat while trying to work out codes written in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. But that's no way to solve a mystery, I remind myself. I must get closer to the subjects if I'm to work out their whereabouts yesterday, and any motives they might possibly have for killing Harrison. Rounding the corner, I'm startled by the sight of Louise kneeling in front of Ben's door, trying to fit something in his lock. Noticing me watching her, she leaps up, shoots me a scathing glare and hurries off to her room, slamming the door behind her. Cocking my head slightly at this, I continue down the hall to my room. I go to my desk and take out several sheets of paper. At the top of each I print a single name, a paper for Louise, for Ben, Father, and so on. Then beneath each name I begin to write down all I recall about each individual's movements over the past few days. Like this, I will be able to keep my thoughts straight and keep track of any clues I might learn about my suspects. About half an hour into this exercise, a knock at the door stops my hand. I rise and cross my dark, cluttered room, opening to find Susan standing there, looking tired as usual and overworked. Her blonde hair is a bit straggly and falling from her cap in places. I note a bit of wax on her apron. Supper's ready, Miss Frances. Thank you, Susan. I'll be right down. Shutting the door, I glance back at my desk, at my haphazard notes. This is a good start, I determine. And hopefully after tonight, I'll have more information to log away. But first, I have some sleuthing to do. Tonight, I dine in the lion's den. I don't see why we have to wait. It's not like anyone wants her here. I hear Louise grumbling as I come upon the dining room. She won't be much longer, Father says. Not like she couldn't stand to miss a few meals anyway, Ben puts in. That's enough out of you two. Frances is a part of this family, and you will treat her with respect. Acting the part of the doting father for a change, are we? Mother cuts in, her words slurred. What is it you really want from her, Dwayne? I just felt we were too harsh on her yesterday. I thought we might make it up to her. I flinch at the sound of my mother's laughter, callous, cold, and unwarranted. I wish I knew what it meant. Oh, shut up, Marcella. Father's voice, tired. If you can't act like a decent human being, just go to bed. No, she answers, sobering instantly. I'm staying right here, to witness your fatherly display for your beloved eldest child. I make a deliberate noise outside the door, and the table grows quiet. A few moments later, I poke my head in with a nervous smile, pretending I haven't heard a word of their conversation. Louise shoots me daggers as I take my seat, which I do my best to ignore. Father smiles. There you are, Francis. Sorry I'm late. Mother belches lightly. Her eyes are glassy and her cheeks flushed. She looks to be in another world. Susan appears together with another servant and begins dishing up our meal. In spite of the sour mood that seems to have settled over the dining room, the scent of curry is heavenly. We eat in silence mostly. Well, Mother doesn't eat really, but continues to drink heavily from her cocktail. When her glass is empty, she calls for another. Father seems stressed. Though he pretends to be in a good mood, I cannot miss the vein bulging in his forehead, or the sharp look he gives the staff when they misstep. Louise seems especially cold tonight, though I think her ire is not directed at me so much as it is at Ben. Would you pass the naan, Louise? She glares daggers at Ben, who only smirks back at her. Father looks up irritably. What are you waiting for? Louise grabs the plate and practically tosses it at Ben. It clatters sharply against the table. Father looks about to scold her when I cut in. Yesterday, I begin, and the whole table goes absolutely still as every eye turns to me. Before the toast, Father breathes a little sigh of relief. I was looking for you two. You were late to the toast, as I recall, Louise. What were you doing? I was in the powder room, she sounds annoyed, fixing my makeup. And you, Ben? I don't know what you mean. He smiles, and it strikes me just a bit mean. I was in the crowd the whole time, taking pictures. Louise scoffs sarcastically. I watch her cut him a disgusted, scathing look. Ben only smirks in response and wipes the gravy from his plate with a bit of naan, tossing it in his mouth with a careless gesture. Excuse me, Louise says abruptly, standing so quickly she upsets her water glass. She doesn't stop to right it, but leaves the dinner table without another word. Father swears. Francis, what did I tell you about starting any interrogations? I was just making conversation. He gives me a warning glare before returning to his curry. Ben lifts his eyebrow at me and smirks. I shoot him a questioning look, and he only shrugs his shoulder, bringing his attention to a second helping of curry. He's in a good mood. Father is the next to leave the table. If you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Ben rises immediately after him. Well, I think that goes for me too. Have to develop more of those photos from yesterday. If I find a decent one of you, Cowbird, I'll be sure and give it to you. Though I doubt you're really capable of taking a good picture. Thanks for the thought, I reply sarcastically. He laughs at me and leaves me alone with Mother, who sits back in her chair, looking completely glazed over. I finish my pudding and leave her to the servants. I didn't learn much over dinner, though everyone was acting a bit strangely. Louise's behavior especially interests me. I must be sure and make a note of it. On my way back to my room, I pass Father's office. The door isn't quite closed, and I can't help but overhear the conversation between him and Louise. Curious, I stop to listen. But I'm engaged now, Father. Surely you can see I must have a bigger allowance. Absolutely not. Your allowance is too generous as it is. Be reasonable, Father. Louise, you seem to forget I have a business to run. I said I can't spare the cash right now, and I meant it. But, Father... They argue like this for a minute, and I'm about to dismiss the conversation when Louise's next words catch my attention. Why are you being so stingy? It's not like you can't afford it. Anyway, Francis said that Squire What's-His-Name was here. Doesn't he always bring you a ton of cash? I never met with the man. Anyway, even if he did, that's hardly any business of yours. Please, Father, just lend me the money. Are you deaf? Their argument reaches a fever pitch, and I hurry away and down the hall. Then, as I round the corner, I come face to face with Ben. He wears a cruel smile. Well, Cowbird, overhear anything interesting? It's not my fault they didn't shut the door. But you were snooping, he accuses me almost playfully. What can I say to that? He's not wrong. But I'm not going to let my own little brother back me into a corner. You lied earlier. At dinner you said you never left the party, but I'm sure you disappeared the same time as Louise. Where did you go, Ben? What were you two doing? Interested in our little secrets, Cowbird? He picks a piece of lint off of my shoulder carelessly. Then his brilliant turquoise-colored eyes meet mine in a look of definite warning. Are you sure that's wise? I'm just trying to account for everyone's location at the time of the murder. Still going on about this murder business. Haven't you caused enough trouble with that? Just answer my question. Just for a moment, Ben forgets himself, and a dangerous look flashes across his features, but he reins it in quickly and returns to his cruel, mocking smile. I'd be careful if I were you, going around, snooping into other people's private lives. I glare back at him undaunted. I just want to know the truth. He shrugs. See, that's the funny thing about the truth. Once you know it, you know it. And then you can never go back. You say that like it's a bad thing, Ben. Like you've got something to hide. But we all do, Cowbird. Every single one of us is hiding something, he says. And he leans in closer, so his voice is just a whisper in my ear. It's better that way, don't you think?
See the pyramids along the Nile. Watch the sunrise from the tropic isle. Just remember, darling, all the while you belong to me. See the marketplace in old Algiers. Send me photographs and souvenirs. Just remember, when a dream appears, you'll belong.